Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, dear Ajeets, Ajeet families and friends, dignitaries, officers, faculty, and cadets of Sainik School, Bijapur, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all. Today, we are part of a historic moment as we celebrate the 58th foundation day of our alma mater, Sainik School, Bijapur. And we, the alumni, the Ajeets, are all set to begin new innings with the launch of the Ajeet networking platform. I am Akshay Patil, roll number 4134, Hoysala House. I will be your host today, along with Ajit Vijay Singh Thakur, roll number 3357, Vadiar House, who will be the technical director of the event. It all began with the inauguration of Sainik School in the glorious land of Bijapur on the 16th of September 1963. Thousands of Ajits have passed through the hallowed portals of this esteemed institution since then. Our fellow alumni are now spread across 3 generations, have distinguished themselves in their chosen professional and public lives, and continue to leave an indelible mark wherever they are across the globe. The Ajeet networking platform that we inaugurate today has brought about an opportunity to network digitally, and it has only brought us all closer and has enthused us with a new sense of purpose and dedication to the cause of the Ajeets and our alma mater. Dear friends, to begin the proceedings of the day, I now invite Ajeet Shri Maltesh Jivannavar, roll number 460, Adil Shahi House, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, everyone.
You are on mute now.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir. We are hearing.
Good evening, everyone in India, and namaskar to all across the globe. Respected dignitaries, fellow Ajeets, distinguished invitees, ladies, gentlemen, and loving children. It is my unique opportunity to welcome all of you to this momentous event. I undertake this onerous responsibility in my assigned capacity as the chairman of the Coordination and Networking Committee. It is my privilege to welcome our distinguished chief guest and keynote speaker of the event, Sri Subrato Bagchi, Chairman, Odisha Skill Development Authority. He holding this position in the rank of a minister is nothing for a man who has created a pedestal for himself. We welcome you, sir, for the launch of our website and allow us to listen to your thought-provoking talk. Sir, like many others among those gathered virtually this evening, I too count myself as a big fan of yours. More than a decade ago, and as an officer in the State Department of Industries and Commerce, I had subscribed to the Business World magazine only to read your articles. That was and remains the power of your writings, ability to attract and inspire. You are as much a Kannadiga as you are an Odia. As a co-founder and CEO of Mindtree, you have created several gainful jobs for the Indians and now have volunteered to promote entrepreneurship among thousands of locals in the state of Odisha. On behalf of the 5,000 strong fraternity of Ajeets and their associates, I welcome you with all the humility at my command to this momentous launch ceremony. When my class was at school in the early 70s, we happened to see a blockbuster, Hath Ki Safai. Vinod Khanna, the hunk of a hero, tell the chocolatey Ranbir Kapoor in a condescending manner, तुम जिस स्कूल में पढ़ते हो हम उसके हेडमास्टर रह चुके हैं. This is the fate of all of us when we try to play some mischief with our AAA president Sri Gopal Hosur sir. Jokes apart, I must admit to his outstanding qualities of leadership in protecting us and guiding us. Gopal Hosur sir, I welcome you to your own event. Much against his warning not to make a special mention of him, I can't resist welcoming Ashok Dalwai sir. It is he who has shouldered with the task of institutionalizing the AAA by the President AAA and he has been at it like a woodpecker, building a digital database, formation of a various committees of specialists, and creation of a website were his ideas. And he has followed it through with the dedication of a worker bee of the Ajeet Beehive. I welcome you, sir, for the wonderful event nurtured by you. I offer my pranams to our senior most teacher, who at his young age of 90 years continues to guide us, mentor us, and take us to task for not being duty conscious. We welcome with all the warmth Sri G.D. Kale, sir, who is with us. All of us, however, firmly believe that nothing would be easy without the umbrella protection and guidance of our many seniors, and I welcome them all with my utmost sincerity. I recognize the presence of seniors present here. Colonel B.G. Kumar, Captain G.R. Gopinath, Squadron Leader Harsha Gamkar, Air Vice Marshal Yajurvedi, General Ramesh Algali, General Om Prakash, Commodore Arvind Shiggaon, Commodore Sampath Desai, my favorite House Captain Colonel P.N. Timaya, Sri S.G. Patil, Sri Sanjeev Bait Mangalkar, Dr. C.S. Unsha, Sri Sadanand Shivgunde, Sri Shashidhar Albur, Sri Sampath Kumar, among others. If I have omitted any names, it is only because I am not aware of their presence. It is no disrespect to any of you, sirs. It is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to the team of our alma mater, led by Captain of Indian Navy Vinay Tiwari, the dynamic principal of our school. Captain Vinay Tiwari has been a constant source of support to all the Ajeets in the multifarious endeavors. We are never a complete Ajeet family without the presence and support of our families, friends, and well-wishers. Dear sisters, dear brothers, children, a hearty welcome to all of you. Once again, welcome one and all. Ajeet hai, Abhi hai. Thank you.
Thank you, Maltesh sir, for the welcome remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, as we start this momentous occasion, I request you to rise in your places for our beloved school song and do sing along.
There's a man school at Bijapur, never fly, but it never true. We will run on our ways like a child. Yeah, I will show you, we take on the shot. In the class we read and put it in the floor. We strive to see and never do yet. It's a foreign desire and everyone's just to be at it, love it, and do accomplish. There's a land and school and we don't never fly, but it never true. We will run on our ways like a child. Yeah, I will show you, we take on the shot.
Thank you. Dear friends, it is said that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. The Ajeet alumni are indeed fortunate to have someone leading us who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I now invite roll number 348 Hoysala House, Ajeet Dr. Ashok Dalwai, who has been spearheading the revitalization of the AAA, to kindly address us on the occasion. Sir, please.
Sir, you are on mute, sir. Right, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Akshay, thank you very much for your kind words. respected President Shri Gopal Hosur, honored Chief Guest Dr. Subroto Bagchi, revered teacher and mentor Shri G.D. Kalesa, Shri Maltesh Jivannava, Chairman and his team of network and media committees, Captain Vinay Tiwari, Principal Sainik School Bijapur, and his fraternity, Ajeet fraternity, Ajeet family members, Ajeet friends, and distinguished invitees. Namaskar to all of you. This evening, we the Ajeet fraternity will be giving to ourselves our very own Ajeet website. It is an integrated digital database and website built by Team Network led by the highly dedicated Maltesh Jivannava, supported by professional tech brains Milind Katti and Siddharamesh Nara, and hands-on youngsters Santosh Patil and Santosh Humble. It is Team Media led by Shiva Prasad Teneth, and with support from Vijay Thakur and Akshay Patil, that this has been filled with life by onboarding information and photos that connect the past and the present and show us the events that will follow. Friends, may I be permitted to share my back of the envelope calculation of the intellectual contributions of these two teams, inclusive of the last 4 months spent on building the website and their commitment to operate and maintain it over the next 2 years. The two teams would be obliging AAA with a pro bono service of rupees 50 lakhs. Ajeets, please say 3 cheers to these two teams wherever your network form. That this worldwide network platform, www.ajeets.org, will now be our new anchor to which all of us across the continents will remain tethered is no gainsaying. What is new is that the digital network, while serving as a powerful supplement to our physical get-togethers, will be enabling us to connect with one another across batches, across generations, across locations, and across time and space. Dear Ajeets, talking of emotional connect, I am reminded of our regular assembly prayers at our alma mater, where the wisdom-filled face of Gurudev came alive. To quote, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, to end into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Friends, how can our country, or any country for that matter, awaken into such an ideal state? A country or a nation is not merely a geographical definition. It is the people who fill purpose and life into it. Let us titillate our minds and recall what former American President John F. Kennedy told his countrymen. Ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. This call holds good for all countries for all times to come. We, the Ajeets, many of who have come from back of the beyond pockets of India, stand today with dignity and confidence, thanks to Sainik School Bijapur, our proud alma mater. It is the people of Karnataka and India, our state, our country, who have contributed to our education, not just as an obligation, therefore, but more as a duty, rather our dharma, should each one of us be adding each of our small mite to nation building. Mahatma Gandhi asked the rich to consider themselves as the trustees of the public, by which he implied that the rich can claim ownership over the riches to the limited extent of fulfilling their needs alone. Extending this logic, each one of us is expected to be a trustee, for there are valuable assets that we possess beyond wealth. Philanthropy, friends, is not a charity. Philanthropy is social responsibility that takes its birth from one's social conscience. We have all heard of Shramdan. We know of our rural brothers and sisters contributing their physical labor, their draft power, their tractor power, the grain power to building of their public infrastructure. Can we, the educated, similarly offer Shramdan, or call it Buddhi Dan, Vichar Dan, to build a better life for our Ajeet family, our alma mater, and our society? We, the Ajeets, excuse me. We the Ajeets today are educated, and the family is spectrum of defense officers, civil servants, political leaders, doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, academics, researchers, social workers, progressive farmers, and so on. I'm sure, trained at school to be disciplined, diligent, and dedicated, we are all duty conscious in our respective professional space. Can we now force multiply that individual commitment to the collective concerted impact? Yes, certainly we can. As Ajeets, we have been networking for more than 4 decades. We have socialized and also done something concrete, spatially distributed and generationally differentiated. There were limitations to coordination and convergence. Thanks to digital revolution, we can now harvest its limitless scope to expand the power of our togetherness. It is this Ajeet website that is going to help us know one another, define ourselves by secular and purpose-oriented groups without restrictions of generation, time, and space. To illustrate, some Ajeet social workers and political leaders may want to come together to help farmers sell their produce by connecting them online to demand centers. Some Ajeet entrepreneurs may want to make entrepreneurs of young Ajeets and other youth by pooling their infrastructure and aligning their experience. Some Ajeet doctors may want to provide medical aid to the needy by coming together to launch the telemedicine services. Some Ajeets academics and researchers may want to synergize their efforts to spread literacy, knowledge, and scientific temper in our country. These are just a few illustrations. The permutations and combinations that Ajeet website makes possible are limitless, and therefore the options to serve are countless. It is said that an institution's alumni are the reflection of its past, representation of its present, and a link to its future. Today, educational institutions across the globe are changing the way they see and interact with their alumni community. This is a transition from the times when alumni and their alma mater led a mutually exclusive existence. Our own relationship with SSBJ has not been very different. We now wish to engage more intensely and constructively with our alma mater and contribute without in any way being seen by the management to be interfering. There are several such global examples, and permit me to cite one relating to private medical institutions in the sub-Saharan Africa. In response to the demand for medical training, the sub-Saharan Africa saw a sudden rise of private medical colleges. In the absence of public funding, their viability came to be challenged. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, funded a project called Strengthening Health Outcomes Through Private Sector, SHOPS in short, to work with these colleges and strengthen their operations, diversify revenues, and improve viability. The general practice with United States colleges and universities is that they depend on diverse revenue sources, including substantive dependence on alumni donations. A survey showed that more than 50% of alumni make donations through alumni associations. Encouraged by such alumni-university relationship in the United States, the project in Sub-Sahara decided to replicate the strategy and therefore promoted alumni associations across the continent. One such was the Alumni Association of Hubert Kairuki Memorial University in Tanzania, established in 2012. The project worked with HKMU alumni and the university to establish the association, develop an alumni database, design operational guidelines, and onboard alumni members. A study of this project revealed that alumni associations can bring several benefits to private medical colleges, their students, and the alumni, and that these benefits will serve to strengthen the medical profession in sub-Saharan Africa and contribute to health outcomes across the continent. Dear friends, our own AAA, Ajeet Alumni Association, has to chart out its own destiny based on our own context. And we have begun our march right on such a track. As part of our commitment to AAA institutionalization, the ingredients identified by us, among other things, include adoption of a statute, operational guidelines, systems of management and finance, and so on. However, at the fundamental level, we need to be democratic in governance, participatory in management, objective in decision-making, and transparent in transactions. The integrated digital database and Ajeet website that our chief guest, Dr. Subrato Bagchi, is launching today is one such ingredient that will prove to be the cornerstone of our institutionalization process. Let me thank all our mentors, including Sri G.D. Kale sir, Colonel B.G.V. Kumar, Captain G.R. Gopinath, S.G. Patil, Gopal Hosur, and many others. Thanks are also due to the Ajeets who have made financial contributions and every other Ajeet who has been proactive in pushing forward our vision and the agenda by serving the cause in a unique way. We are determined to use our edifice of AAA as a fulcrum for an all-India network of all the Sainik schools in service of our nation, as also the global society. The best gratitude that we can pay to our alma mater and our teachers is to become exemplary citizens of India and global residents. It would be apt to end by quoting John F. Kennedy once again, who said, "I think the success of any school can be measured by the contribution the alumni make to our national life." This observation is relevant to our nation and our educational centers as well. As we celebrate the foundation day of our alma mater, let's promise to contribute to making Sainik School Bijapur such that it is judged as one of the most successful in our country. Thank you one and all. Ajeet hai, Abhit hai. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for walking us through the genesis of the networking platform. Our thanks are also for steering the Ajeet ship from vision to mission, from action to fruition. At this juncture, I wish to share a quote, and I begin. Our vision is not always a function of our capability to see. It is our willingness to open up our inner eye to the limitless universe that lights up the path of our existence, unquote. These words were written by none other than our beloved chief guest. Dear Ajeets, it is our great privilege to have amidst us today a very special and very inspiring personality, that is Dr. Subrato Bagchi, co-founder of Mindtree and presently the chairman of Odisha Skill Development Authority. We are thrilled to host Dr. Bagchi and I now invite Ajeet Shri Shiv Prasad Khenet, roll number 505 Vijayanagar House, to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you, Akshay. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Subrato Bagchi, respected senior Ajeets, fellow Ajeets, their family, teachers, principal, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. Gopal Hosur sir, the president of the Ajeets Alumni Association, and Ashok Dalwai sir have befittingly invited the most appropriate chief guest for the launch of our Alumni Association website and also for commemorating our foundation day today. Dr. Bagchi is an extraordinary self-made entrepreneur, business leader, writer, a management guru, an inspirational speaker, a great role model, mentor, and a polymath who, on inspiration from his beloved mother, has gone out to kiss the world and indelibly etch his name in the annals of the Indian IT industry. Dr. Bagchi is now a great role model to many entrepreneurs in India, including a large number of Ajeets. This was evidenced just a while ago in the welcome address of Malte Jivanawar sir, who spoke how inspired he was reading to his articles in the business world. Dr. Bagchi was born on 31st May 1957 in a small town in Orissa. His father worked with the government of Orissa. The young Subrato Bagchi, besides being a good student, he was also a par excellence NCC cadet. He earned his para wings in NCC after being trained at Parachute Regiment of the Indian Army in 1974. The following year, he received an award from the Prime Minister at the Republic Day Parade in Delhi for being the best NCC cadet of India. Dr. Bagchi graduated in political science from Utkal University and started his career with a brief stint in the government of Odisha before being selected for a prestigious post of a management trainee in Delhi Clock Mills in 1977. He then entered the emerging IT industry in 1981 and worked with different IT companies before joining Wipro. Dr. Bagchi had a long-term association with Wipro, where he rose to the level of chief executive of the Wipro Global R&D. He also worked very closely with Azim Premji. In 1999, just 1 year after he left Wipro, Dr. Bagchi co-founded the now famous Mindtree IT company in Bangalore. Dr. Bagchi served as the Chief Operating Officer in Mindtree and was instrumental in articulating Mindtree's vision, mission, and values. He helped the company to become one of the leading IT companies in India. He successfully steered the Mindtree through the period of trials and tribulation, particularly during those turbulent days of 9/11 terror attack on US, whose shock had a global impact, and many companies had to be closed because of this, but not Mindtree. Mindtree went on to become a company of global reckoning under the leadership of Dr. Bagchi and his co-founders. Dr. Bagchi was majorly inspired from his parents, from whom he learned many extraordinary life lessons. One such lesson was to treat lesser privileged people with more respect than how one treats privileged ones. He has practiced this lesson all through his life, an example of which can be seen in the design of the Mindtree logo. Many of us may be aware of the inspiring story of how the iconic Mindtree logo was developed. The creator of this logo was not a highly paid ad guru like Prahlad Kakkar or Alec Padmasi, but a less privileged special boy, Chetan Shiva, aged 17. This boy was suffering from socio-neurological disorder called autism. Dr. Bagchi had tasked Shiva and some other differently abled children from the Karnataka Spastic Society to create the logo for their company. Rest what they say is history, and this logo went on to become an iconic logo. It speaks volumes of the empathy and caring that Dr. Bagchi has for the lesser privileged, including the differently abled. It is this quality of giving back to the society which has made Mr. Subrato and Mrs. Sushmita Bagchi to donate a whopping 340 crores for the establishment of a world-class cancer hospital and palliative care center, which will come up soon in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Most part of the childhood days of Mr. Bagchi were spent in moving from one place to other wherever his father was transferred by the Orissa government. It was growing in this ambience under the tutelage of his beloved parents that Mr. Bagchi, in his own words, learned and imbibed those extraordinary lessons in life, including giving back to the society. His address at IIM Bangalore, titled Go and Kiss the World, which was what his mother told him while she was in her deathbed, motivated him to tread the path less traveled and to persevere to attain great heights. His achievements have been built keeping those morals, ethical, and empathy values which have remained central to his principles in life. It's therefore great honor for us that Dr. Bagchi has very kindly accepted our invitation to be the chief guest for commemorating the foundation day of our school and also for launching the Ajeets Alumni website today. Sir, for your kind self, this may be one of those innumerable occasions and just another platform for delivering your inspirational inaugural address. But then let me assure you, sir, that your address to the Ajeets will not only inspire us, but it will also connect emotionally with each of our hearts, besides kindling our cranial nerves. Dr. Subrata Bagchi is one of India's most admired IT entrepreneur. In 2007, Dr. Bagchi was part of the Apex team that led Mindtree company from an idea to becoming a most successful IPO, which became a global talking point. He's also a famous business writer and was named India's #1 best-selling business author in 2011. His business books, The High Performance Entrepreneur, Go Kiss the World, The Professional, MBA at 16, The Professional Companion, and his recent book, The Elephant Catchers, have all been highly successful and in fact are being translated into other languages. Ajeets are impatiently waiting to listen to your inspirational address, sir. Thank you so very much for accepting our invitation. Ajeet hai, abhi hai. Back to you, Akshay.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. We eagerly look forward to the school day address by Dr. Bagchi. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the unveiling of the new AAA platform of the Ajeets, by the Ajeets, and for the Ajeets. With the permission of the chief guest, we now present to you www.ajeets.org, the Ajeet networking platform. Thank you so much, sir. And there we go. The Ajeet networking platform is live. I'm sure this is just the beginning of a promising journey for alumni networking for the Ajeet Alumni Association and for Sainik School Bijapur. I now call upon Ajeet Shri Milind Katti, roll number 1801 Hoysala House, to present a bird's eye view of the platform.
Hi, thank you, Akshay. Uh, my dear seniors, my dear Ajeet, and then chief guest. And then I'm usually very good at public speaking. This is not the first time I'm doing, but because of the panel that we have, I'm really getting nervous. Give me a moment to take a long breath. Thank you. So, it was around a couple of months ago that we said that okay, we need to build a website for for Ajeets Alumni Association. I said okay, I think I've done it a couple of times, and we should be able to do this now. And then a couple of days later, Jivannaur sir came and said, okay, hey, this is the team that's going to be part of this. And I realized that all four of us were in some way IT entrepreneurs. I said, okay, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. We should be able to do this very easily. But as we went on, what was supposed to be a website, then said, no, this is just not a website. It should have ability to build communities and sub-communities and special interest groups, etc. So we said, okay, and then the community need to be very, very engaged, and then we should build in those features as well. We said, fair enough, that should be fine. And all the members that are there should be a directory of all the members, searchable in various ways. So we said, okay, sir, we'll get that thing done. And then it went on to say that this is the website where we should be able to create events and maybe even collect payments, and then with a payment gateway. We said, fine. And then, so it went on and on, the scope went increasing. But the reason that kept us going was what Ashok Dalwai sir alluded to, was the larger vision. Because along this time, we were also creating vision, mission, and values for AAA itself. And that's what kept us going. So I always say this at a lot of times, right? So there are two distinct features that Ajeets have. One, compared to rest of the alumni community that I'm usually part of course. One is that we joined Sainik School when we were 11. That's a very, very tender age. And not only that, for next 7 years, we stayed together, we ate together, we played together, we studied together. And that creates a bonding or a spirit that's very, very hard to even explain and even harder to understand for anybody else. It can only be felt. And I've nowadays started calling it as Ajeetness, copying it from Tajness when you visit Taj. So this Ajeetness combined with the diversity again that Ashok sir was alluding to in terms of the age, in terms of the geography, because after 12th, around almost 700 of us obviously joined the defense forces, but there are plenty of other domains and that we all went on to, including geography, 3 generation of Ajeet, etc. So imagine this diversity of talent along with this Ajeetness is why I believe this particular platform is only a beginning, and it can act as a catalyst to change the world. And that is the motivation that kept us going, irrespective of whatever the scope kept getting added to this. So without much, allow me to share my screen and quickly walk you through as to what are some of the things that we built. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Not yet.
Yeah, now it should be. All right. So what we have is as I was talking earlier. So for example, obviously we have the members, and then just in a couple of days, yesterday we opened it up for testing, and then we already have a couple of members who already registered. Think of this when we have 3,000, 4,000 Ajeets who are already part of this and registered. So some of the possibilities that exist is, of course, okay, I can search by location, as you can see. So there are 5 Ajeets in New Zealand. I can click on this. I can send a message directly, right? So obviously 10 on the West Coast, and then the whole. I can zoom in, go into city-specific search as well. At the same time, I can also go into the role-wise and then say, okay, I want to look at doctors. And then how does that work? So we have 19 already listed. So including my batchmate, Dr. Sandeep Ankolekar, who heads neurology in King's College, London. And then we can also search by professional skills, for example. So I'm actually looking at, say, for example, neuro surgeons. I'll be able to narrow down to say that, okay, there is Dr. Sanjeev Kalsur in Hubballi. So that is the power of this. Once we have entire 5,000 Ajeets alumni in various professions, in various skills, as you can see, we can do industry-wise, we can search by professions and then roles. And so we'll use this very, very responsibly, because we know that if I send a message to Ajeet, I'm always almost able to get a reply. So that's the power of this particular ability to reach us. And then what we can also do is, we know that we can also create by special interest groups. So what we've done is, there are already golfers who are interested in golfing. There are Ajeet Entrepreneur Group, of course. There's a Blue Club, Health Club. And by default, you all will be placed in your own batch subgroup as well. Your own group. For example, this is my batch. This is the batch. And then we can create events. We can interact within the batch of myself or within the subgroup or a special interest. And I can also create the global. Eventually, this business directory that we're seeing will get built. And the way we see it is, all Ajeets will list their own businesses onto this, like I have done, Santosh has done. We would be able to not only sell and buy amongst each other, this could probably become a platform for Ajeet commerce. And then, of course, mentoring all the Ajeet entrepreneurs, probably in investment opportunities amongst Ajeet entrepreneurs. And a whole lot of possibilities exist with this business directory that we have. Another very special thing that we've done is about the newsroom. Of course, we have access to plenty of news nowadays, but this is going to be different. We've decided that the news that we're going to publish here is going to be about Ajeet's achievement, about their inspiration, and about their stories, right? Because we have a lot of news anyways from outside. So for example, around a couple of months ago, both the lieutenant generals in Kashmir sector were Ajeet. I mean, that's the story that you see here. And there's a very heartening story wherein a 3rd generation of Ajeet joined Sainik School Bijapur. They also went on to join National Defense Academy. One of the 5 pilots who brought in Rafale from France to India was an Ajeet, and so on and so forth. So we also have recently one of our entrepreneurs is creating waves in the US by naming in the 2020 by Time Magazine, right? The Cradlewise is the name of the company. So what we would be doing is publishing only those. There's a team working on that. And of course, we can create events, as I said. For example, this is today's event that we had already published. So you would be able to create event, get RSVP, get members going, and very easy to, you can create events for your own cities. You can create events for your batches or the global events, and that's going to become so much more easier. You can also do fundraising from here. And another very interesting thing, of course, is the job board that we've created. So all those people in their own respective companies can publish their jobs, and then those who are seeking employment can obviously apply directly from this portal. We already have 9 jobs, I mean, so on a test instance already. But one of the best things that I have seen is the gallery that we saw. So this is where we can boast of our school's pictures, the nostalgia, our old pictures. And then these are some of the pictures that are already created. One that caught my attention is what this one. And then I don't know. It took me a while to realize this is the 2 people who went to 1965 Republic Day Parade. One of them went on to becoming Major General K.N. Mirji, and the other one was a celebrated paratrooper, Colonel B.G.V. Kumar. That is a power. So you'll see plenty of these pictures people will upload, and we also created a special gallery, including a martyrs gallery, and then the school milestones, and then so on and so forth. So there are plenty of stuff available here. As I said, friends, this has been my most endearing project that I have ever done. And even people in my company were saying, like, where are you and what are you doing? I said, okay, hang on. There's something that I'm on to nowadays. I request you all to use this platform to create something big, to create something good. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for walking us through the platform. I believe, and I'm sure our fellow alumni will agree, that this platform is a blueprint of Ajeet achievements in the days to come. I now request Ajeet Shri Sidramesh Nara, roll number 1783 Hoysala House, to introduce the members of the team who have worked on developing this platform.
Hey, thank you, Akshay. Good evening, all. Chief guest, Dr. Subrata Bagchi, President AAA, Gopal sir, our mentor, Ashok Dalwai sir, respected teachers, seniors, young Ajeets, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to talk about the commendable work that this team of IT professionals, basically Ajeets, have done in coming up with state-of-the-art IT platform for AAA. About 4 months back, when Jeevan sir called me and asked me if I could be part of the leadership team for AAA IT, little did I know about the complexity and the stiff timelines that we had. But then the comforting factor was that I had my batchmate Milind Katti and two bright, young, enthusiastic Ajeets, Santosh Hambar and Santosh Patil in the core team, headed by Darwai sir and Jeevan sir. Ajeet sir's brilliance was at full display when he started talking about his vision for the IT platform on how it should look like, what functionality it should have, and most importantly, what is the purpose that it should serve to Ajeets alumni in particular and society at large. As the detailed requirements started going through, with over 25 years of experience in IT between me and Milind have, working with IT giants across the world, it was very evident that we are up against a Herculean task. We started conceptualizing the platform. Myself, Milind, Santosh Pombal and Santosh Patil started putting together and analyzing what are the requirements from hardware perspective, our website, the functionality itself, and started putting together an estimation and the timelines for it. Our collective experience made us believe that we had a tough task to deliver it within 100 days, and we had to look for other alternatives. So we started talking to a few of our friends in school, colleges, and even colleagues in our office to figure out if they had done something like this for their alumni. Unfortunately, the results were pretty disappointing. So on the other side, we were also looking if there were any off-the-shelf providers for something like this that we could do. But our worry always was, how stable are they going to be? What about our privacy? What about the security requirements? Will they cover all the functionality that we need? Just what Milind explained so far. And will they actually customize it the way we want it, right? So while all of these were playing in our mind, we spoke to a few service providers in this and started evaluating some of their products that were available in the market. So we evaluated all of them on various parameters and put together a study of all of these and presented it to our AAA executive committee. And finally, we got approval to go ahead with Huawei. Once that was done, we split our team into two tracks. One headed by Santosh Patil for collating and populating the database of all our alumni. And the second one was what to do with the website itself. How do I customize it? Where do I put what? How can I make it more pleasing? How can I make it more usable? Some of those things, the design things, was what the other team started working on. So the IT database, the Ajeets Alumni database team spoke to quite a few people, our seniors, juniors, teachers, the school itself, and most of the database that we had was either in Excel sheets or in Word documents, mails, and even sometimes the notepads. It was a Herculean task for us to put together all of that in one place. So we sent it out to the batch reps and got it sanitized. On the website side, we actually looked at a team of people on where do I put my blogs, where do I put my events, where do I have my jobs, what are the other functionality that we need to do, and at the same time started creating content and pushing it to the website. We were ably supported by our seniors, Vilasire sir, Rajman sir, once. So this team actually has put together a lot of effort and burned midnight oil. Kudos to Santosh Hambar and Santosh Patil, who have been at it along with their daily jobs. So, apart from that, we would like to thank Milind Katti for his experience and knowledge, Darwai sir's strategy, and Maltesh sir's finesse in flowing through different batches to get us what we want in time. Salutes to this great team for creating an extraordinary event in the history of AAA. We were supported very well by our AV team headed by Shivaprasad Kenan sir and Ranga sir. The creative duo of Vijay Thakur and Akshay Patil, supported by Jagdish and Vivekanand Pampalli, created some fantastic catchy videos and promos, not only to amplify the work done by the IT team, but also to raise the enthusiasm of Ajeets. Again, I end my speech by taking a bow to this fantastic team, which I call a dream team to work with. Ajeet hai, Abid hai, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you to all the Ajeets who have so passionately and tirelessly worked on bringing us this wonderful platform. Friends, to be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration to so many, that is something else altogether. And our chief guest today is just that. Dear Ajeets, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. I now request Dr. Subrato Bagchi to kindly deliver the school day address. Sir, please.
Good evening to everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Shri Milind Katti, Shri Ashok Dalwai, Shri Gopal Hasur, Shri Captain Gopinath, Shri Maltesh Jivanavar, Shri Shivaprasad Kenned, and Colonel BGV Kumar of Para Holding Unit. 1974, you just flagged a message saying that if I was in 1974 Para, then you were probably in the Para Holding Unit. Sir, if you are there, my respects to you. Yes, 1974 September is when I reported to the Para Holding Unit. And if you are there, then you are kicking us into the three-towners early morning to send us off to the para training school, Agra, and for throwing us out of the aircraft 5 times, giving us the para wing. So Colonel Kumar, my deep respects to you. I'm actually deeply honored. I'm deeply honored to receive the invitation, and I was thrilled to listen to each one of the speakers. I was really thrilled to see the website being presented. Now, you know, as all of you know that I am in the state of Odisha for the last 6 years. This is the state where I was born, and I have been working with the government here in the area of skill development, which is mostly for the good of school dropouts and kids who make it to the ITIs and polytechnics. My wife, Sushmita Bagchi, is also part of the government here, and she heads a program called Mo School. Mo in Odia means mine. And the charter of Mo School Abhiyan is to connect alumni to their schools, because the Honorable Chief Minister felt that the 50,000 plus government schools are actually receding backwards, and the best way to revive them would be to get the alumni to be a part of the process. And the program encourages alumni to come spend time, give time, to become role models, to come and teach, be involved in the school running. Also, very incidentally, the government said that if they want to contribute in terms of money, then the government will match that contribution 2x. They can decide where the money will go, and they will have oversight on how the money will be used. So somebody says that I want to set up a lab, and here is my money. Somebody says I want to have a common room. Somebody says I want to build a smart classroom, so here's my money. And the government will immediately match it 2 times. You'll be amazed that in the last few years, 120 crores came in. 120 crores came in from the contributions by alumni, and the government then matched it with 2x, which is 240 crores. So imagine 360 crores have now gone in for the transformation of government schools. So that is the power of alumni. And as I was listening to Shri Dalwai, whatever points that he made about how the alumni can engage to make a significant contribution, not just to their own institution, but create a role model in that institution so that many other Sainik schools then will follow. So I'm sure this website that you have launched, if one Bijapur has 5,000 cadets who have gone out, then I'm trying to think how many would be in positions of glory and greatness and great impact-making possibility when you pull in all the Sainik schools. So suddenly you have a community of communities. So that we do not always realize the power of the collective. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about the idea of the collective. So on that note, I also like to tell you that after the astounding success of the Mo School Abhiyan, the government then has extended that to Mo College, and getting the alumni of government colleges to come back and contribute. So offline, we can discuss about that. And Shri Dalwai, whenever you have the time, you're coming our way to Bhubaneswar, would like to connect you to both these institutions. So coming to the conversation with you, I don't like to think that I'm making a speech to you. I don't want to think that I'm making a grand address. I'd like to really chat with you. I have been very inspired by people like Shri Ashok Dalwai, people like Shri Gopal Husur and Captain Gopinath, and now, of course, Shri Milind Katti. Shri Milind Katti himself is a techno entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. Of some consequence, I got to learn about him pretty late, but I'm really full of admiration for what he has achieved and his humility and his sense of purpose. If we look at somebody like Shri Ashok Dalwai, like Karnataka claims me. Karnataka is my second motherland, Odisha is my first motherland. And Odisha got me back after a long time. So the same way that Shri Dalwai has 2 motherlands, and people here have great respect and affection and regard. So when he was, in Karnataka on deputation, we used to take tremendous pride that he's an ODIA officer who's on deputation to Karnataka, making ripples as BMC commissioner, and in several other positions that he had enjoyed and made great impact on. Of course, Shri Gopal Hosur is a legend in his lifetime. We in the private sector were always in awe. We in the IT sector were always in awe of his greatness. A lot of people talk about leadership, but to get a few bullets in your body is a very different ballgame altogether. But what was amazing is how accessible his personality was, how he was like water. He would mix with everybody. He would make smallest of the problems you could take to him, and he would listen to you. And it's amazing how he made a transition from being a very respected, very adored police officer, to make an impact in corporate social responsibility. And now, of course, he's leading a philanthropic hospital, making a lot of difference. Captain Gopinath and I go back as long as I go back with Sri Hosur. I feel that Gopi is like a brother, soldier, activist, entrepreneur, outlier, politician. I don't know if Gopi is on this conversation, on this call or not. But what is very interesting is if we look at all these four people, and I presume that the same gene pool to which they belong, which is the gene pool of ordinariness. And I think one of the speakers alluded to that, ordinariness. I think it was Ashok who talked about ordinariness, coming from ordinary backgrounds, and then gone on to build very extraordinary things. So this is what appeals to me, and this is what enamors me as far as the Ajeets are concerned. But what is very significant is your value system of integrity, of respect, accountability, self-service, selfless service, collectivism that you talked about, and empowerment. Values are everything. So what I'm going to do is, in the next few minutes, talk about the idea of achievement that people like Shri Katti, Shri Dalwai, Shri Hosur, and Shri, Captain Gopinath, and all of you here represent. These are high achievers. These are people who have done something of consequence with their lives. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about an idea of achievement through a presentation that I'm going to show you a few slides so that you don't fall off to sleep. So let me actually share my screen, if that is okay, Shri Katti.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
You have to show it from there. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
No, sir.
Yeah? No?
Not yet.
Negative? Not. Okay. So let me go here, share screen. Okay, so.
Unveiling sir is not a co-panelist. So I think you
Santosh, can you do that? Yeah, Santosh, can you do that quickly? Yeah. Now we can see, sir. Yeah. Bagchi, sir, we can see your screen.
You're seeing my screen? Okay. Good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you see this?
Yes, sir. Skilled in Odisha, yes.
Very nice. Good. So in my conversation with you over the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about achievement, the idea of achievement, and then we will try to look at the idea of, inspired achievement. So if you friends look at your own life, okay, you'll find that our life has broadly two narratives. One is what I call platform, and the other is what I call purpose. So you see this as a XY, diagram, and on the left side you see platform, and on the right side you see purpose. What is platform? If you analyze your own life, you will find that each one of you on this call are basically a product of six things. First and foremost, you're a product of education. That is why all of you are here. You say, I'm from Sainik school, Bijapur. And many of you, some of you are in your 60s and 70s, you have left that school behind so long back. But even today, you say, I studied in Sainik school, Bijapur. So Bijapur is where your story begins. And the 5,000 people will soon get connected. You look continuously at education and say, I went to Bijapur, I went to NDA, I went to IMA, all of you are talking about roll number. What is a number? What's a roll number? But it is so important to you. It is like your double helix almost. So your education determines who you are. The second thing is your experience. I was in Sikhalai, or I was in 9 Jat, or I was a fighter controller, or I was a Navy diver off Visakhapatnam for 10 years. So what is in fact, Shrikatti talked about one of the Ajeets who flew the Rafale. Okay, so for the rest of his life, he's going to say, "I was one of the people who brought the first Rafale." So it's your experience. Similarly, Gopi will talk about his 1971 war experience, which actually changed his whole worldview. So we are made up of our education, we are made up of our experience. That makes us who we are. Then it is our network, which is what you are just doing. You're bringing the power of your network. You are saying, oh, I have a neurosurgeon in Auckland who is a Ajeet. If I just connect through the website, then I can immediately find out who are the 10 people who are on the West Coast, California. So that's the network. Your education and experience take you only so far in life. After that, it is the amplifying factor. If you look at the leverage, okay, it basically comes from your network. So if Sri Dalwai wants to get something moving, all he has to do is to call his batchmate in Odisha, and that guy will move heaven and hell. So your network is very important. Who did you actually share the dorm in Bijapur? Who did you share the dorm in Indian Military Academy? So that's the power of your network. Beyond that, it is your net worth. Okay. So how much money do I have in the bank? Net worth is important because it sometimes is able to give us the self-confidence to take risks in life. If Shrikatti has a certain amount of money in the bank, then he can say, okay, so now I don't have to worry about my family and my future. I can take big stake with my next serial enterprise. So your net worth also determines who you are. Then your family determines who you are. Okay. And in your case, of course, your parents have had very great influence on you, your sisters and brothers, but it's also your wife, your wife, your children, they have great influence on you. They modify your thinking, they modify your whole worldview. And last but not the least, as you know, it's your body. I want to be an Air Force pilot. I went through my, I got selected. I did my, PABT, my service selection board, all good. I was flying, and while I was flying, my medical category went down. It completely changes my track. Okay, and all my life, I remember that my medical category got down. Okay, so unless your body is cooperating with you, you will not be able to do what you want to do. So these 6 things taken together become collectively our platform. Some people say, so what happens to values? My answer to that is your values are actually a collection of these 6 things. They determine your values. If you change your network, your values will change. If you're born into a different family, your value will change. You may come from a family with a wrong set of values, but you go to Bijapur and you spend time with a few of your fellow students, and you will actually deviate from that family's values into a different set of values altogether. So values are a function of your education, experience, network, family, and your body. But interestingly, even as you are made up of these 6 things, your platform is not the most important thing. What you do with the platform is the most important part. What you will do with this platform will be determined by your purpose. So let's say that you and me have the same similar platform, but the impact that I will make with this input will be probably much less than what Gopi will do. Or what impact Gopi will make will be different from what Sri Husur will make. So who determines that impact? It is the purpose that determines that impact. So what we do with the platform is determined by the purpose. And the purpose is a mathematical formula called I to the power of T, the impact you make over a period of time. Some people will make massive impact over a certain period of time. Comparatively with the same set of platforms, some people will do significantly less. So keep in your mind this XY graph, and then I'm now going to change this slide to a 2x2 matrix. So look at this 2x2 matrix. Imagine that I'm superimposing this on the XY graph. So if you do this, then you will find that based on your platform and your purpose, you can have 4 coordinates. There'll be some people who in life will be low platform and low purpose. Remember, not lowly platform or lowly purpose. I'm not being judgmental. I'm saying low platform, low purpose. So Gopi came from a tiny village called Guru. Okay, and he would have come to Sainik school maybe in standard 6, but he would have been very close to another kid in class 4 in his village school where his father was a teacher, and maybe that kid is still in Guru, whereas Captain Gopinath has become a global legend. Okay. So that kid in Guru is actually in a low platform, and probably that kid is the a grocer, a local, LIC agent, or is managing a family medicine store. Okay, so is working with a low platform, continues to be there, and all of you in this call will have thousands and thousands of very close friends who were with you in 3rd standard, 4th standard till you came to Bijapur, and there you have left them behind. Sometimes you meet them, sometimes you remember them, but they're not who you are today. So these are people who are in a smaller universe, and low purpose, again, not lowly purpose. The meaning of low purpose is they're making an impact over time, but a lesser impact over a period of time. Now you compare these people with another set of people who will be low platform, but will have very high purpose. So imagine that you have a few of your friends, maybe from your Bijapur days, maybe NDA, IMA days, maybe you're after short service commission or something, they have gone back into some other service, or maybe they didn't join the defense services. Some of them might have gone and worked for, Sri Dalwai was talking about sub-Saharan Africa. Somebody is working in sub-Saharan Africa. Somebody is actually running an NGO in Raichur, helping sex workers to deal with HIV/AIDS. Okay, so these are people who are not working with WHO, okay, which is probably high platform, but working with a tiny local NGO. Or this friend of yours who after Sainik school Bijapur chose to be a school teacher and is teaching mathematics in a government school. Government school is low platform, but that person has very high purpose. And then there are people who are very high platform, but low purpose. Okay. So some guy, studied with you at Bijapur, but became very successful in his own rights and is working in a very large corporate organization. Okay. And this person has done very well in an IT company, okay, or in an FMCG company or a foreign bank, very high platform, but has a low purpose. What is a low purpose? The impact he's making on people is comparatively low because it is all about his personal ambition, his personal success, his personal glory, his personal greatness, his own family's well-being. And there will be very few people among us who are riding a high platform with a high purpose. So if you look at people like Sri Dalwai, he is influencing the farm policy of the government of India. He will be instrumental in resolving the crisis between the farmers and the government, the agitation that is going on. So it's a very high platform and very high purpose. Even after retirement, he's been serving the nation. So Captain Gopinath, another example of high platform, high purpose. Sri Gopal Hosur is high platform and high purpose. So if you look at these four, it's a very interesting matrix, and all of us can figure out. We don't need an external certification. So tonight when you go to bed, you close your eye and you will precisely be able to tell yourself as to which of these four quadrants that you belong to. Now, there's nothing wrong, right or wrong about, we're not saying one is better than the other. And I'll explain to you in a moment how, if you belong to any of one of these, you may actually have some vulnerabilities. Some things which it's not, nothing comes with, with a pot of gold, and nothing comes with lack of glory or greatness. Each one can have some serious vulnerabilities that we do not see. What are those? So if you look at the people who you have left behind in Gorur or in Shimoga or Patnagarh, where I was born, but they've stayed behind the vulnerability's existence. I'm sorry, not the vulnerability, the driver. I'll come to vulnerability in a few moments. So I apologize. Stay with this slide. It's a very important slide. So for the four categories of people that I talked about, there's some very key drivers, that drive them, strong motivations. The people at the bottom left, who are low platform, low purpose, their driver is existence. So the person who stayed back in Gorur or Patnagarh or whatever it is, that person's primary requirement is existence. Right now is not worried about the kind of things that you are paying attention to. He'll be thinking, is my LIC bill been paid or not? He's worried about whether the kids have gone for tuition today or not. Worried about, also this before the December thing happens, December the harvest season begins, we need to repair the roof. So it is all about, day-to-day living. The people who have stepped back and they are today teaching mathematics in a government school or helping the sex workers in Raichur, or people who are doing startups. Startup people like what Sri Katti has been on, the driver is path creation. Now, path creation is very interesting. These are people who create a new path. There are people who are path dependent in life, and there are people who are path creators. So their basic desire, their drive, the inner, the drumbeat to which they listen is path creation. They want to try out new things, do new things. So that's the driver. People who are high platform and low purpose, their key driver is consumption. I have one car, I need two cars. I have one apartment, now I need a gated community. Sometimes I have one spouse, I need two spouses. My children are going to a public school, but my neighbor's child is going to an IB school, so I now need to ship my kids to an IB school. It is all about what am I consuming. The fourth category, which is high platform and high purpose, to which many of you belong, the driver is legacy. Why is a man like Sri Dalwai and Sri Gopal Hosur spending so much time on a website and on a network? It is because, you think that this is a way to create legacy. You want to leave behind something which is in better shape than what you inherited. So these are people driven by legacy. Like Sri Katti was alluding that his colleagues at work were saying, what are you busy with? And he's a man who should be worried about how to build a unicorn and take his company public or raise the next capital funding. And all he's thinking about today is, bringing all the Ajeets together. So that's being driven by a sense of legacy. Now I'll pause and bring you to the conversation I was having about vulnerability. This is great. You have great drivers. But in each of those quadrants, you have vulnerability. So what are those? So the people who are low platform and low purpose, the vulnerability can be false comparison. So there's a kid who used to sit on the same Tatpatti next to Gopi in the village school, and was actually better in mathematics than Gopi, could speak better than Gopi. And today he says, oh, that, that fellow, that Gopi fellow, he was much less smart than me. And he went someplace, all because, the fellow later on was given a better support by his parents, or, he got, I didn't make it, but he made it to Bijapur. And then after that, he went to places. Or people who studied with Gopi in Sainik school and thought Gopi is not smart enough, but then Gopi formed Air Deccan, and they'll say, I could have also done it. But no, you couldn't have done it. Or if you could have done it, why didn't you do it? So these people can sometimes suffer from false comparison. Okay, so the classic thing is, I was a captain, he was a captain, and he married the colonel's daughter, and that guy's whole life changed. He shortchanged everybody and became a brigadier, and look, that fellow has retired as a major general. I was thrown out of being a colonel. Okay, I hit my upper limit because he married the CEO's daughter. Now that's false comparison. Nothing stopped you from going and doing the CEO's daughter. So just as these people can fall into false comparison, people who are low platform but high purpose, they sometimes have a vulnerability of fear of scale. Scale worries them. Okay. So the person who is running a small NGO in Raichur will be not comfortable with the Red Cross, will not be comfortable with the WHO. Okay. And these people who tend to think that, okay, for most of world's problem, the big companies and the government and the big NGOs are actually the root cause of all evil. Because they think that anything which is large and anything that is behemoth, like an organization, they don't belong in there. It's fundamentally because they are scared about scale. On the top left-hand corner, this is the great corporate guy who was a house already, but is also now wanting a gated community. The vulnerability can be irrelevance. They think that this is most important part of their system. But you know what? People come, people go. Okay. The head of a multinational in India changes every 2 years. Who cares? The bureaucracy is a great example. Chief secretaries come and go. IGs come and go. Generals come and go. So you are not the most important part in the system. The system is more important than you. The people who are in the top right quadrant, people who are high platform and high purpose, their vulnerability can be that nobody's giving them negative feedback. They're classically people who can go, they're emperor without clothes. The CEO is drunk at midnight at the bar, then nobody's going to tell you, sir, you are drunk. You should go home now. So if you are the general or you are the air chief, very few people will give you negative feedback or bring you bad news. Great leaders actually suffer from this. The reason great leaders fail is because they're in the high platform, high purpose. So they think that, nothing can touch them, and they do not realize how closeted they can become. And one day the fall will come. Now, friends, what is very important is not which of the 4 quadrants you are in. Like I was telling you, you are in one of the 4 quadrants, okay? The important thing is to do a periodic reality check. Okay. Which is the quadrant I'm right now in? And second thing is, we should not have a false notion of where we are. I remember that one of the things that, I come predominantly from an OG family. And when in my family, kids were very small, the guardians decided, so this guy will go to civil service, that guy is looking strong, so this guy's Air Force, this guy's Navy, this guy's Army. Sometimes the regiments were decided, okay? And all of us actually had three addresses drilled into our head. One was, first and foremost, you have to completely rattle the address of Union Public Service Commission, Dholpur House, New Delhi, 110001. And then if the parents decided that you are the OG, then you had to remember two postal addresses, okay, 56 APO or 99 APO. And you need to understand the difference between 56 APO and 99 APO. Okay. So why I'm telling you all this is that we need to understand that we shouldn't have false notion. And if you are the OG type, you went and reported on day one, the ragging actually removed the false notions. You know, one of the things we were taught as a kid that everybody joins the Army, Navy, or Air Force, and on day one you are reporting to the academy and you want to be a general. Now that's a false notion, and the ragging will set the false notions out. But it's amazing how false notion doesn't stop there. So false notion can be, I'm actually high platform, low purpose, but I think, I'm high platform, high purpose. Now that's false notion. That's dangerous. The third thing, friends, is it doesn't matter which of the four you are in, but you should be there not by accident, but by choice. The person who is low platform and low purpose actually may be doing a better job than a guy on high platform, high purpose who can lead all of us into danger. Okay, so that person who is, which is running a small pharmacy in Gorur, may actually be doing a good job of serving the local community. It doesn't have to be in Sri Ashok Dalwai's position. And that person actually is attending more marriages and more funerals and more birthdays than any one of us are doing. We are very happy doing webinars, but we are irrelevant to our friends and family. And incidentally, that guy will actually have less chance of a heart attack than any one of us on this call. Okay, she's a good guy. He's doing a good job, but he should not have false comparison. Okay? And wherever I am, I should be there as a matter of choice. If I'm in Raichur, it should be a matter of choice, should not be imposed on me. Last but not the least is to understand that people do not belong to any quadrant permanently. In our lives, typically we move from one to the other, but not every day. You can't move from one to the other every day. Okay, that's maddening. That's madness. But at least 2-3 times in life I have seen people move. So, for example, Sri Katti will be able to understand this very nicely. As a garage startup, you are low platform but high purpose. Every startup starts in a very low platform but high purpose. But some will move from low platform, high purpose to high platform, high purpose. Apple is a good example. Microsoft is a good example. Infosys started in a small house, rented house in Koramangala, but Infosys went to high platform, high purpose. So it's a good example. To move. Institutions move, individuals move. Similarly, some people who have great glory and greatness, they're high platform, high purpose. There's this guy who actually had stellar army background, but he became a major general. Something went wrong with the guy and he got involved in a rum scandal. And that had happened 20 years back. There was a major general who you don't become a major general easily. And all the guy did was he bungled, he was an ASC major general, bungled with some rum supply, and that is the end of his career and end of his reputation. So from high platform, high purpose, overnight, you become low platform, low purpose. Bill Clinton was president of the United States of America. Highest platform, highest purpose. And then this whole episode happened with Monica Lewinsky, and that completely brought him into low platform and low purpose. So people do move. And sometimes, you are forced, not by bad reputation, but let's say your medical category happens, gets downgraded. You are one of the most promising people in your batch, in your regiment, and you are at war and you get shot in your leg and your category is down. And from high platform, high purpose, you are going to be the general in your batch. And suddenly, you have to retire as a lieutenant colonel or brigadier, right? So life moves you back, but some people will then spring back from low platform. They'll again go back to high platform and high purpose, but some people will just stay there. Now let's talk briefly about people who are in high platform and high purpose. What is the characteristic of some of these people? I can keep you all night here, but I will be brief. These people typically are people who I told you earlier, their driver is legacy. The driver is not consumption. The driver is not existence. Okay. The driver is not always path creation. But their fundamental driver is they want to leave something behind. So this comes from a deep sense of purpose. Once I had spent some time, I had the privilege of spending some time with the Dalai Lama. And I had asked him, I said, you haven't freed Tibet. You should be a very sad man. But every morning you look at the camera and you smile and you give hope and faith to humanity. Where do you get this power to smile? So he said, your purpose determines your power. It's your purpose that determines your power. So Lawrence of Arabia had a purpose. Eisenhower had a purpose. Sam Manekshaw has a purpose. Sam Manekshaw is probably not very different from any one of us. Okay. So if you look at these kinds of illustrious people, illustrious generals and war heroes, they had a purpose, and the purpose determined their power. The second thing that you will find is these are people who are driven by a sense of vision, power of vision. Gopi Zelan has gone away, but he was the first guy who said every Indian can fly. And until Gopi's airline started, lower middle class Indians, poor Indians, they would shiver at the idea of an aeroplane. They could never think in their entire life that they will only see an airplane from the ground. They'll never be able to go inside an airplane. And Gopi said, you give me 1 rupee, I'll make you fly. So it is not about an aeroplane. It was not about an airline company. He was giving a vision that any Indian can fly. Third thing is, these are people who are stirred by feelings, not by data. Okay, data is important, but feelings is far more important. Because feelings are very interesting. They come from emotion. And the word emotion has an E and motion. Okay? It comes with Latin roots. And emotions are nothing but feelings that move. Motion, move, emotion. Okay. And you people will understand it better because you say Ajeet hai, Abhit hai. Now that's an emotion. That's an emotional statement. It is not backed by any data. So emotions are very, very powerful thing. Mahatma Gandhi, was stirred by feelings when he was thrown out from the train on a dark night in a, desolate South African platform. He fell on the ground, his luggage fell someplace else, and suddenly the man says that this is not fair. Apartheid is unfair. And if he had feeling, so Subhash Bose was driven by feelings. Sardar Patel was driven by feelings. The people were stirred by feelings. And feelings for who? Feelings for people who are far disconnected from you. Sri Gopal Hosur does not even know the thousands of constables and police who will give their life even today for him. He doesn't know them. They're not friends and family. So greater is your distance from the beneficiary, higher is your impact. Mohammad Yunus is a globally respected person who has changed the whole idea of finance in the world with the idea of microfinance. And who are beneficiaries? There's a vegetable seller near Koramangala, who's sitting on the ground, and that vegetable seller's whole empowerment has changed because somebody thought about microfinance, and that person is not related to the founder of Grameen Bank, to Muhammad Yunus. Infosys may be anything, but Infosys was most respected because it helped ordinary people to get stock options. Now, those ordinary people who got stock options when stock option was not even heard of in the Indian industry and became millionaires, they're not related to either Sri Narayan Murthy or Sri Nanda Nilekani. So beneficiary is far removed. Last but not the least is there are people who have a long view of time. They know that it takes time to make a difference. It doesn't in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you don't make a difference. You look at your own institution. It's a 58-year-old institution, for heaven's sake. So 58 years it has taken for Bijapur to put its signature DNA in all of you. So it takes a lifetime to make a difference. With that, I would wish all of you the very best. May all of you make a huge impact. May all of you leave a legacy. May all of you remain inspired. I was very nervous actually at the beginning of this. First of all, foolishly, like a new second lieutenant, I jumped into it without understanding what is it that I'm doing. Or Colonel Kumar would remember that donkeys can be made to jump off a child packet aircraft because the first jump, the guy doesn't even know what he's doing. So when Shri Hosu told me and Shri Dalwai told me to do this, I first behaved like that donkey out of a child packet aircraft. And then I was nervous because I didn't know whether this parachute is going to open or not. And I said, so who am I talking to? And Shri Katti brought the bad news that there'll be 10 years old and 70 years old in this conversation. So I said, how do I make myself meaningful to a 10-year-old and a retired general? So he said, no, don't worry about it. Ignore the outliers. And you just talk to people who are in the 30s and 40s. So then I was a little less nervous and felt the parachute actually, the lifeline snap and the parachute open up. And thank you for giving me safe landing. And thank you for listening to me this evening. Once again, all the very best. Good luck, Ajeet hai, Abhi hai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the very thoughtful, informative, and motivating talk. Your message in the power of the collective, that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Success demands singleness of purpose, and when we realize our purpose, indeed, we no more hit the snooze button. It has been a great honor, sir, having you with us today, and I'm sure every Ajeet will cherish your words for a long time to come. We sincerely and wholeheartedly thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with the Ajeets this evening. Thank you once again, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, on 16th September, we celebrated 58 years of the founding of our alma mater, Sainik School, Bijapur. To mark the occasion, we now bring to you some patriotic songs in honor of the sacrifices made by our founding fathers and men at the frontiers. Do sit back as we bring the songs to you on screen. Desh Ki Dharti. This song featured in the 1958 movie Upkar, which, along with the movie Shaheed, was director Manoj Kumar's response to the then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri's clarion call of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Originally sung by Mahendra Kumar, this song was presented to us today by the exceptionally talented Mr. Shafi Mohammed from Hubballi, who, along with his passion for music, shares immense respect for Sainik schools as well as the soldiers safeguarding our motherland. We thank Mr. Shafi for adding patriotic fervor to the ceremony. Now we have the next song. As we know, "We Shall Overcome" was a rallying call of Martin Luther King Jr. He was hugely inspired by the message of peace and nonviolence given by Mahatma Gandhi. The song reminds us that our motherland has been an exemplary icon of peace and nonviolence in the world, while we are also equally adept at guarding the interests of our country with strength and might if need be. We thank the Ragadipam group from Kozhikode, Kerala for this beautiful rendition. Moving on with the proceedings, dear Ajeets, the labor of love that all the platform development team members have put in can best be fructified only when every Ajeet comes on board this platform. May I now request Ajeet Shri Santosh Humbard, roll number 2982 Chalukya House, to briefly describe how one can register online on the platform.
Good evening, dear Ajeets, guests, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an exciting couple of weeks working on the Ajeets Alumni website, and a great pleasure to see it live today. On behalf of the IIIT team, I would appeal to you to make the best use of the portal. Network, connect, and engage with fellow Ajeets. Reach out to Ajeets not just from your batch, but from across, from the first batch to the current batch, and many more Ajeets who will subsequently join us in the coming years. Ajeets from your town, from a different state, or across the globe. Post events, news, updates, share memories, apply for a job or post a job opening, request info or discuss. You can also see a list of business or professionals on this website. Browse through them, list your business or your profession, inquire or sell a product or services to fellow Ajeets. Form specific special interest groups and do activities that might be of interest for few. Could be a badminton club, runners club, or any other activity that you'd like. I also appeal you to avoid any religious and political postings or discussions on this website. So let me get started briefly on how you can get registered. I hope you all are able to see the screen. Yeah. So please go to www.ajeets.org and click on the register link. You'll get a small, a simple form. Okay, add your email address. It will take you to the next step. So you could add your salutation. Okay, add your mobile number. After this, you would get an email and your CVRs would also get activation. Please continue filling up your class and end date in the end date. So I request batches up to 1977 to add, as class 11th as a year of pass out, because I think till 1977 it was 11th, and only after that you had 12th class. And in the end year or this thing, please select your batch end year, irrespective of when you have left. I believe some of us would have left at 10th or maybe 11th, but put your batch end year here. So I'm from a batch of 99. If I had left at 98 and 11th, I would still add 1999 here. Okay. And your roll number. Now, after this, your CVRs would get, you can go ahead and fill up the rest of the details, your house and your company and professional details and all. After this, your CVRs would get an email to approve you. And so now I'll just log in as a CVR. This is for the CVRs. Once you log in on the right hand side, you will see, the portal management and the registration spending and all. So all you have to do is click on the portal management, and okay, this is from your batch approve. We can start approving each member who and in case you find somebody from a different batch, please do not approve them or take any actions. Inform us and we will do the needful. Sometimes you might have entered your year wrong in your profile. So what I would request is go to edit profile, education details. When you want to change a batch, click on edit. You'll get this form. So you might say, update present details, and send your message here. And as the admins and the support team will get this message and they will take action on this. There are, let me also take you to the groups. These are the different groups that you see. Now, this is my batch group. I'll briefly take you to how you can change your banner image. All you have to do is navigate to your group. As a CVR, you'll get this option of add banner image. All you have to do is select. And you see the banner image appears there. If you want a special interest group created, what you do is be a mentor and give out your area of expertise and different message, and we'll be able to help you out. You can also get in touch with us using the contact us, put on this subject and the message, and we will address each and every question or query that comes through this. Not just for the next few days. Our team will be working on this for the next for the years on as we go ahead. So don't wait for this. Register today and invite your fellow Ajeets to join on the website with you. Thank you for your support. I would like to close this appeal by thanking everyone in the IT and the media team and the content team for working together as one team towards one common goal. Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai. Jai Hind. Thank you. Over to you, Akshay.
Thank you, sir. The platform has already created a buzz among the Ajeets. I'm sure many more will register and make the best use of the website as well as the app. May I now call upon the Honorable President of the Ajeets Alumni Association, Sri Gopal Hosur, roll number 177 Chalukya House, to deliver the presidential address. Sir, please.
Let me begin by saying, oh my God. I'm dumbfounded, spellbound, and amazed this evening. Last 110 to 115 minutes that I have been a witness to this program, it has taken me, my mind has really been energized by the kind of activity you guys have been doing. Our chief guest is still there, or? He
No,
just
sir.
left. Yes,
No, sir.
he has left.
Has left.
He has left. He has left. Yeah. What a scintillating speech by Dr. Subrata Bagchi. What a website that you have created. What a networking platform that you have had.
So,
And the
Gopal
kind
sir,
of activities you guys have been
so
doing.
Gopal sir, excuse me, sir. I think there is some double thing. Can you give us 10 seconds to fix that, sir?
Yeah.
He just left. Yes.
No,
He has left. He has left. He has left. Yeah. Santosh, can you see? I think that's the streaming as well as the webinar are on the same machine. Can you fix that, please?
By Dr. Subrata Bagchi.
Yeah, fix that. Yeah.
I think except Gopal, sir, everybody has to join.
Huh?
What a networking platform that
Is
you
there
have had.
anybody on the
Sir,
panel
sir,
who is
ನೀವು
also?
ಸರ್ ಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಸರ್ ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀರೇನು ಸರ್ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್
ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ನಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕೋ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್
Is it clear now?
I've
Gopal
muted
sir, go on,
everybody
sir.
else, sir. You can-
It's okay, sir. Now it's solved now. Yeah.
It is solved, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
The bug has been resolved. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, Akshay. You always inspire me when you speak. I think you are roll number 4000 odd and I am roll number 177. Such a wide gap between us. But as a sister, you always inspire me and I think most other Ajeets. Thank you, Maltesh, for that naughty twist to my introduction. I used to be naughty in school. No longer. Please remember that I'm married and having two big kids who are young and energetic. So I am still a gentleman to the core. Dear Ajeets, our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Subrata Bagchi, has just left. So I have all the freedom to speak to you as the members of my own family. Dear Ajeets families, the principal of the school, my seniors, my very, very dear young energetic juniors, a very, very warm good evening to you all. I know you have a lot of programs after this, which will not be broadcast, but I'll not take much of your time. The organizers have given me just 10 minutes. I may exceed it by about 2-3 minutes at the most. Today has been a great evening, a momentous occasion, and I think a milestone in the journey of our alumni. Thank you all, Ajeets families, for participating in such large numbers. In fact, your participation gives strength to the alumni and it gives us trust in one another. Ajeets Alumni has always been vibrant, relevant and important association right from the time of its inception as an old boys association. We all acknowledge the sincere commitment of our teacher, Sri G.D. Kale sir, and Dr. Chandrasekhar Hunshal, and fellow Ajeets who conceptualized it in the early stages. And they have passed on the baton over the years to the successive office bearers. On this occasion, I would like to remember them all with great gratitude. Dear Ajeets, I'll be failing in my duty if I do not take this occasion to pray for the souls of all our dear Ajeets and Ajeets family members who have left for their heavenly abode in the last couple of years. I pray for their souls. Not only that, a number of Ajeets and Ajeet families have passed away during this pandemic season. May their souls rest in peace. I would also like to appreciate and acknowledge the services rendered by all the Ajeet doctors who were able to save many lives during the pandemic while risking their own lives. Having said this, friends, accidents, as Subrata Bagchi said, have always been a part of my life. I've had a brush with death on 4 occasions so far, but by God's grace and the goodness of people around me, I have survived. Becoming the president of the AAA was also a sheer accident. You may call me the accidental president of the AAA. In school, we are used to obeying our seniors and orders of the seniors. We never defied them. But later in life, we also began to obey people in our offices and now at homes. So 2 years back, when General Mirji, chairman of the Ajeet Trust, my senior, virtually ordered me, I reluctantly and hesitatingly accepted the offer. But General Mirji sir and dear Ajeets, I must tell you that I have thoroughly enjoyed being the president of the alumni. Fortunately, I had a very, very dedicated secretary in Dr. Shashikant Kulgod and a band of vibrant office bearers who have put in their best in the past. This post gave me a great opportunity to reconnect with the junior and senior Ajeets. Thank you, General Mirji sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Let me add a personal note before I venture further on the more important subject of the website and the charismatic chief guest this evening. We are all now in 2021. This is the golden jubilee year. My batch passed out in 1971. So it is the golden jubilee year of my passing out, our passing out. And my batch has been a unique batch. We are credited with roll number 1. I think Arji Kulkarni is here. Roll number 1 is from my class. The batch, it can also take credit for starting the 6C class. The 6C class never existed because we are all rustics, not knowing English. And our stylish teacher, many of the seniors can recall, would call us the Halli Gaudas. But leaving the school was a sad moment for me. And more sadder was that I was leaving the school as a failed student. I had not made it to the NDA in the 3 successive attempts due to medical reasons. 22 years after that, when I was on the deathbed, to be precise, the 24th of May, 1993, the first people who came to my bedside were my wife, my mother, my brother. Along with that, I had a team of, I must remember them today, late Ramesh Bhatt sir, late Captain Ben, Commodore Chavanamar, and many, many more who rushed to my bedside at the Gokulam Hospital in Salem. Most of them were my seniors in school, and I had not even met them after passing out of the school. We always feared the seniors and we respected our seniors out of fear. But all these guys were there when I was in distress. No doubt my junior buddy, my very dear compatriot, Anand Dev, was the first to rush to my bedside on the same night. Ajeets, if this is not bondage, what else is bondage? Please tell me. Because huge gap between batches, but still we all come together whenever there is a need for it. We have a huge sense of belonging to one another. And this belonging has been exhibited in abundant measure in the last 50, 60 years. Today, if I am asked and given an option, and probably if I was 10 years old, would you like to join the school again? What would be my answer? Things have changed a lot. And I'm sure you will guess it. Many of you would also say the same. It would be an emphatic yes. That I would love to go back to Sainik school as a child and relive the life there. School was good. I have very fond memories. I have extremely dear friends cutting across the batches. And I have great memories of the school. But friends, let me tell you, there is going to be an additional advantage, an additional attraction. What is that additional attraction and additional advantage? Girls are going to be admitted to Sainik school Bijapur. So in our times, we just had 3 day scholars and everybody looked at them. And now the school is going to be flooded with young girls. So in due course of time, the alumni will become more colorful and more vibrant. So stay glued to the alumni. In fact, a few couples could also become the members of the AAA, and in which case, because of the girls also passing out and girls being there, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, you may have to change the AAA to 4 A's. Ajeets Alumni Association. But yet, we will continue to be strong, invincible like ever before. I would like to touch on just 2 points this evening. First and foremost, a very, very loud applause. Let us all shout out for Dr. Ashok Dalwai and his team of young and energetic Ajeets for what all that they have been doing. I'll assure you all that the AAA office bearers fully back all your efforts. The WhatsApp group Life Positive Ajeets, initiated by the indefatigable Maltesh Jivanamar and many others groups, have reconnected us like no time before. We are in touch with one another. But the impetus for all this, I must say, let me have I'm getting emotional, so let me have a sip of water. The impetus for this great journey, I think it came from our AAA 2019 event. Actually, AAA 2019 event, despite the COVID times, showed the strength of our collaboration. It showed us that we have a storehouse of talent amidst us. It showed us our enthusiasm for our alumni and our school. It showed us the intergenerational connect of Ajeets across batches. Today, as Subrata was mentioning about our great paratrooper, Sir B.G. Kumar, 1974 Agra cantonment, it has shown us, more importantly, how we long for one another, keeping aside caste, religion, region, language, social and economic statuses. That is the great achievement of our AAA, a truly secular, vibrant body. Now coming to the website that has just been unveiled, the networking platform today, I would say the divine hands of Dr. Bagchi has taken a lot of effort, energy and time of the young generation of Ajeets, ably supported by the leadership of Dr. Ashok Dalwai, Maltesh Jivanamar, and young guys like Milind Katti, Siddharamesh Nara, Shiv Prasad Khenath, Santosh Patil, Santosh Vambal, the name is endless. I think you have had a very, very robust team. And what a website that you have created, user-friendly, and I'm sure you would have toiled over months to, you have toiled over pro bono. See, the most important thing is they are devoting their time when they are otherwise commercially very gainfully engaged. So this is the greatness of our association. I hats off to them, and I think they all need a strong, very, very loud applause from each one of us. With our strength growing to about 5,000, and which will keep on rising, and who are dispersed across the world, a strong, robust Ajeet platform was probably the need of the hour. It was an urgent need, and this has been fully fulfilled today. There could be initial glitches, like in anything that happens when people start using it, but rest assured, all the bugs will be solved. Just at the beginning of my talk, it was solved in moments by our technical teams. So it does not matter. And as the AAA president, I feel immensely proud of the work that you people have put in. Once again, let us all applaud them and extend our congratulations to them. The second reason I want to specifically thank Ashok is our chief guest for today. Of course, Subrata is known to me for over 2 decades, but then it was his idea that we will call Subrata. The moment his name came up, suggested by Ashok, there was a thunderous approval and an endorsement of his name. I think, friends, we have done the best thing today by inviting him, and we could not have got a better person than him this evening. So Ashok, thank you very, very much. What a man, what a personality. An icon just not for the IT sector, not just for the cause of good governance, a role model for all youth to emulate, and so much of knowledge he has about defense and defense activities and various facets of life. His life journey itself, in my opinion, is a testimony to how an individual can climb to Himalayan heights, but yet personify humility, personify grace, personify simplicity with the highest integrity. And he has kept his feet on the ground all along, firmly on the ground. On a personal note, let me also tell you that man's personality. I invited him for my son's wedding reception, and I expected him that he would be coming, but somehow, for some reason, he could not make it. Well, the large number of guests are there and all that. I had forgotten. Next day morning at 6 a.m., my doorbell rang. When I opened the doorbell, there is a very senior representative coming from the Mindtree with a small gift packet in which was a beautiful, beautiful letter blessing the couple. And actually, this floored me. The simplicity of the man, the ability to meticulously follow up on everything that he thinks is very important. So I think this man is just great, not just as even as a speaker, as a human being. And you can imagine where is Subrata Bagchi and where is Gopal Hosur. What a wide gap in the achievements and accomplishments of Subrata. And okay, I may have done some things because of being in police, you get publicity, this, that, and all that. That is okay. But there is a huge ocean of difference between Subrata and people like me. And I think many of you can aspire to be Subrata Bagchis or much more in your future life. The AAA remains highly indebted to him for sparing his time, for being with us and delivering an extremely scintillating address. I saw a couple of chats coming on this one, and I think each one of them was very, very appreciated. Dear Ajeets, your alumni is growing from strength to strength year after year. COVID has taught us how to remain connected when physical meetings are not possible. Today's meeting is a testimony to it. It's going on flawlessly. The new team is very extremely enthusiastic and is raring to go. They have been rolling out many programs. Every step at improvement, let me tell you, this is very important. Every step at improvement of the alumni network association, structuring it, is being discussed, debated with noble objectives. It has been made inclusive and it is democratic. So make no mistake that nobody is trying to gain glory through the AAA association activities. It actually helps one another to network. The website that you have created is such a powerful tool to remain so well connected and to be helpful to one another. I recall one of the old poems. I think it was a Hindi poem, late Mr. Dharmpal Pushkarna. I think many of you may be knowing the tall, handsome man from Punjab. He used to teach us a poem. I still remember one or two lines. कठिन पथ है दूर मंजिल फिर भी बढ़ता जा रहा हूं. I'll tell you, Ajeets, that the AAA will keep progressing and progressing every time. But as I think rightly said by Ashok in his talk and by mentioned by Dr. Subrata also, we need to collaborate. We need to collaborate not only amongst ourselves, but across the Sainik schools of the country. So I request this team to organize a virtual meet in due course with the office bearers of the alumni associations of various other Sainik schools, because we can learn from one another, we can adopt the best practices and build a very, very powerful pan-India brotherhood of Ajeets. And rightly said, it will be a very, very powerful body. Let us remain united. I remember the words of Theodore Roosevelt. He said, do what you can with what you have and wherever you are. So I think the alumni requires you to contribute. To each one of us begin to contribute in our own ways. Let us all mutually come together to help one another and help our alma mater to reach greater glory. I assure you that with everyone's commitments, the website, the AAA, and the Ajeet Trust will sustain the test of time. It will sustain the test of time and it will become more robust. We are marching towards the 60th anniversary of our alma mater. Am I right? This is going to be in 2023. The association has gone to a higher trajectory of engagement and with an improved structure and agenda. And as Ashok rightly mentioned, the success of any school will be measured by the contribution the alumni make to the national life. So we have a commitment to the national life wherever we are, and we can make the school proud by our contributions. Let us all be the agents of that great mission. Let us dedicate ourselves. I would like to take this opportunity and request all Ajeets to come forward and assist in the development of the association and the school through your valuable intellectual, human resources, and financial contributions. Because finance, as Mr. Bagchi presented in this one, net worth. Net worth is important. If you need to feel strong today in the Karnataka Swimming Association, I feel strong because in the last 3 years, I have brought in a lot of money into the organization. I can take a lot of decisions. And so, unless we strengthen the financial backbone of the Alumni Association, we will not be able to leap forward. So I request each one of you, whoever is capable in whatever small way is possible, please come forward. We Ajeets should consider ourselves as the assets and ambassadors of XSBJ and explore new ways of engaging with the community and the world. Last but not the least, I pray, may you and your families remain in good health, happiness, and remain Ajeet and Abhit and excel in all your endeavors. Thank you, organizers. And I must thank Dr. Subto Bagchi also in his absence for having come and said a few good words about me. Whether I deserve it or not, I need to pinch myself and see later in the night. So with these few words, once again, congratulate the whole team. Let us all march forward together. I mentioned it as the D-Day. D-Day is the time when all energies are put into a mission. And I think we are today in a mission mode. I thank General Mirji for making me the president 2 years back. General Mirji sir is there here on this one or not. I thank a lot of you who have given me a lot of confidence, encouragement, and helped me to perform my duties as AAA. And let me tell you that in this website thing, my contribution has been the minimum. I have just been there, and Ashok keeps on saying, we need you, we need you, we need you, and all that. So I'm sure soon we must have a new AAA president. The younger generation should take over. And saying these few...
Sir, but you preside over everything, sir.
Huh?
You preside over everything, I said.
Preside over everything means what?
Everything. You're the president.
Explain that. No, everything is a dangerous word.
No, not that way, sir. You're the president.
So, Jai Hind, Ajeet hai, Abhit hai. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Your encouragement has been very, very vital in transforming the AAA, especially in our resilience as a fraternity, as a community towards the many challenges thrown by the ongoing pandemic. It is under your able guidance that our Alumni Association is global in its truest sense today. And yes, we do look forward to an even more vibrant Ajeet culture in the future. Thank you once again, sir, for your moving words tonight. And I'm very pleased to announce that we have just crossed 1,000 registrations on the platform, and the number is on the rise as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw close to the conclusion of today's event, I invite Ajeet Shri Santosh Patil, roll number 2371 Chalukya House, to propose the vote of thanks.
Santosh, just 1 minute. I'll take. I just want to thank our President Gopal Hosur for all the guidance. He said that he has not contributed anything to this, but we just need an umbrella. So you have been an umbrella, and that umbrella protection and guidance is, I think, more than enough. There is also, not to say that there has been no what is called as materialistic contribution. There has been a lot of contribution. I just want to say that your words are highly inspiring for all of us, and your morning message itself inspired our team so much that they almost are willing to give 48 hours in a day. So thank you very much. And on behalf of every one of us, we would like to thank you for the great leadership that you have been giving us. And I just want to take this also opportunity to say that the way the Ajeets have been responding to various events, with the Watershed 2021 event of Feb 2021, the next event is on 9th October. I just wanted to tell you all that please be ready to join again on 9th October, 6 p.m. We have another great legend, Padma Vibhushan, and also Padma Shri, has got both. Dr. Mashilkar, one of the great technologists, scientists, and somebody who has connected science, technology with enterprise in our country, the first man to have done it. So we have somebody else who has also again come from a very humble background in Goa to grow up into a national figure. So I just thought I'll use this opportunity to tell you that 9th October is again on the door. So we'll all again meet up. But once again, I am personally grateful to our president for all the guidance and protection and the direction that you are showing to us. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Santosh. Back to you.
Yeah, my dear respected senior Ajeets and respected participating members and my dear friends. It gives me immense pleasure to convey a vote of thanks this evening. Indeed, a humbling experience for taking big names in this allied group. And we are privileged to have a chief guest, Subrata Bagchi, for giving us a very inspirational and enlightening speech in a very simple way. And thank you, sir. And our Honorable President Gopal also, sir. Sir, you are our strength and your words are orders for us, sir. And I would like to thank our mentor.
You rate me honorable. Even governors, I think now governor is not even being used that word. Yeah.
No, out of respect, he's saying.
Sir, excellency cannot be used. Honorable can be used, sir, for you.
And I would like to thank my mentor and the very coolest and focused person, Ashok Galwai, sir. Sir, you are the man behind everything. You gave us a space and the direction, and with your great leadership, sir. And with all the senior Ajeets like BGV, sir, for mentoring us, and Shashidhar Ablu, sir, for directing us to choose the best option of the application at the very early stage, which has made us to be here now, sir. And I would like to thank the content team headed by Shivaprasad Kene, sir, for providing the right content for the right pages, and media team, Akshay and Vijay, for all the technical support and the video promos, which convey the right message to make everyone hear. And for data processing, we initially took a lot of the data from D.D. Kale sir, Kunshal sir, and Shivanand Wali sir, which has helped us to get the flow it to the CVRs in a very simple way, and they helped us to collect and validate and get the data for us. Thanks to all the CVRs and even for all the Ajeets who have helped and providing us the data, how many times we ask with all your busy schedules. And to my network team headed by Maltesh Jivanar sir, who handles everyone with very kind words and supports us and connects with anyone from anywhere in no time. And with the great technical pillars, Milind Katti and Sidramesh Nara sir, it wouldn't have been possible without you both. And with your great technical experience, realistic planning and execution, and constant 24/7 support for day one till now for me and Humber to work in the background has made our work very comfortable, and we feel best to be part of this group. And at last, I would like to thank all the Ajeet families and friends who have helped us and supported us directly or indirectly to make this website launch successful. And at last, to all the viewers in the YouTube, thanks to everyone. And Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of days ago, I was reading about the origins of our alumni association in an article written by Dr. C.S. Hunshal, the pioneer of the Ajeet movement. He had described in his article how the first reunion came together on the UAS campus in Dharwad, and there were just 14 Ajeets in that gathering. Those were the days when contact cards were maintained in address books and messages were communicated via written postcards. When I myself turned an alumnus in 2013, it was no longer the Old Boys Association. It had already been rechristened as the Ajeets Alumni Association. Today, it is with the greatest pleasure that we welcome the Ajeet networking platform as the dawn of a new era in alumni relations. On that note, we come to the close of the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise in attention for the national anthem. Thank you, everyone, for making this event a grand success and a memorable one. We look forward to seeing you all on the networking platform and in the upcoming event. This is your host Akshay Patil, along with Technical Director Vijay Thakur, signing off until next time. Good night. Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai.
Yes, sir.
All of you say,
Okay, sir.
Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai.
Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai.
Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai.
3 cheers to all of you. Thank you very much. The great team, Maltesh, Milind, Sidramesh, Shivaprasad, Santosh Patil, Santosh Vambal, Vijay, Akshay, every one of you and all other members of these two teams. Great coordination, great convergence, great concerted effort, and an excellent performance today. Thank you very much. And let's all together thank all Ajeets who have made this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
3 cheers, 3 cheers.
Bye.
3 cheers.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
You can
Wonderful.
stop.